Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 140 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading from the Scriptures 2009. We'll be reading Numbers chapter 35, 2 Kings 25, finishing that book, Psalms 139, Proverbs 20, and Romans chapter 9. Numbers chapter 35 is on page 182. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe in the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan of Jericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they shall give the Levites cities to dwell in from the inheritance of their possessions. Also give the Levites open land around the cities, and they shall have the cities to dwell in, and their open land for their cattle and their herds and for all their livestock. And the open land of the cities which you give the Levites are from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits all around. And you shall measure outside the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits, and the city is in the middle. This is to them the open land for the cities. And the cities which you give to the Levites are the 6 cities of refuge, which you give to the manslayer to flee to, and to these you add 42 cities. And the cities which you give to the Levites are 48, these with their open land. And the cities which you give are from the possession of the children of Israel. From the larger tribe you give many, from the smaller you give a few. Each one gives some of its cities to the Levites, in proportion to the inheritance that each inherits. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall choose cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the manslayer who struck someone mistakenly shall flee there. And they shall be cities of refuge for you from the Redeemer, and the manslayer is not to die until he stands before the congregation of right ruling. And of the cities which you give, 6 are to be cities of refuge. Give 3 cities beyond the Jordan, and 3 cities in the land of Canaan as cities of refuge. These 6 cities are for refuge for the children of Israel, and for the sojourner, and for the settler in their midst, for anyone who mistakenly strikes someone to flee there. But if he has stricken him with an instrument of iron so that he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. And if he has stricken him with a stone in the hand by which one could die, and he does die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. Or if he has stricken him with a wooden instrument that could kill, and he does die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. The Redeemer of blood himself puts the murderer to death. When he meets him, he puts him to death. And if he thrusts him through in hatred, or throws an object at him while lying in wait, so that he dies, or if the enemy he strikes him, or an enemy he strikes him with his hand, so that he dies, the one who struck him shall certainly be put to death, for he is a murderer. The Redeemer of blood puts the murderer to death when he meets him. And if he pushes him suddenly without intimating, or throws an object at him without lying in wait, or uses a stone by which a man could die, throwing it at him without seeing him, so that he dies while he was not his enemy or seeking his harm, then the congregation shall judge between him who struck someone and the Redeemer of blood according to these right rulings. And the congregation shall rescue the manslayer from the hand of the Redeemer of blood, and the congregation shall return to the city of refuge where he fled, and he shall remain there until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the set-apart oil. But if the manslayer at any time goes outside the limits of the city of refuge where he fled, and the Redeemer of blood finds him outside the limits of the city of refuge, and the Redeemer of blood executes the manslayer, he is not guilty of blood, because he should have remained in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the manslayer is to return to the land of his possession, and these shall be a law for right ruling to you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoever strikes a being, a murderer, shall be executed by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness does not bear witness against someone else to die. And take no ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall certainly be put to death. And take no ransom for him who has fled to his city of refuge, to return to dwell in the land where the death of the high priest. And do not profane the land where you are, for blood profanes the land, and the land is not pardoned for the blood that is shed on, except by the blood of him who shed it. And do not defile the land which you inhabit, in the midst of which I dwell, for I, Yahweh, am dwelling in the midst of the children of Israel. On to Kings chapter 25 on page 412. So this closes out 2 Kings. And it came to be in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th new moon, on the 10th of the new moon, that Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and all his army came against Jerusalem and encamped against it. And they built a siege wall against it all around. And the city was besieged until the 11th year of sovereign Zedekiah. By the 9th year of the new moon, the scarcity of food had become so severe in the city that there was no food for the people of the land. And then the city wall was breached, and all the men of battle fled at night by the way of the gate between the two walls, which was by the sovereign's garden, even though the Chaldeans were still encamped all around the city. And the sovereign went by way of the desert plain. And the army of the Chaldeans pursued the sovereign and overtook him in the desert plains of Jericho. And all his army was scattered from him. And they seized the sovereign and brought him up to the sovereign of Babel at Riblah. And they pronounced sentence on him. And they slew the sons of Zerubbabel before his eyes, and put out the eyes of Zerubbabel, and bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babel. And in the 5th new moon, on the 7th of the new moon, which was the 19th year of sovereign of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, Nebuchadnezzar is the chief of the guard, a servant of the sovereign of Babel, came to Jerusalem. And he burned the house of Yahweh, and the house of the sovereign, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Even every great house he burned with fire. It's two ways we clean things, with fire and with water, right? And in all the army of the Chesedim who were with the chief of the guard broke down the walls of Jerusalem all around. And Nebuchadnezzar, the chief of the guard, took into exile the rest of the people who were left in the city, and the deserters who deserted to the sovereign of Babel, with the rest of the multitude. But the chief of the guard left some of the poor of the land as vineyards and farmers, and the bronze columns that were in the house of Yahweh, and the stands in the bronze sea that were in the house of Yahweh, the Chesedim broke in pieces and took their bronze away to Babel. And they took the pots and the shovels and the snuffers and the ladles, and all the bronze utensils the priests used in service. And the chief of the guards took the fire holders and the basins, which were of solid gold and silver. The bronze in all these utensils was beyond measure. The two columns, the one sea and the one stand, and the stands which Solomon had made for the house of Yahweh. The height of one column was 18 cubits, and the capital of which on it was bronze. And the height of the capital was 3 cubits, and the network and pomegranates and all around the capital were all of bronze. And the second column was the same, with a network. And the chief priest and the chief of the guard took Caesarion, the chief priest, and Sephariah, the second priest, and the 3 doorkeepers. And out of the city he took a certain eunuch, who was appointed over the men of battle, and five of those who saw the sovereign's face, who were found in the city, and the chief scribe of the army, who mustered the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who were found in the city. And Nebuchadnezzar, the chief of the guard, took them and made them go into the sovereign of Babel at Riblah. And the sovereign of Babel struck them and put them to death at Riblah, in the land of Hamath. So he exiled Judah from its own land, and he appointed Gilead, son of Equin, son of Shaphan, over the people who were left in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, had left. And all the commanders of the armies, they and their men, heard of the sovereign of Babel had appointed Gedaliah, and they came to Gilead at Mizpah, even Ishmael, son of Nehathel, and Johan, son of Kiran, and Syrian, son of Tanath, the Netophite, and Yezekatsu, the son of Machai, they and their men. And Gedaliah swore to them and their men, and said to them, "Do not be afraid of the servants of the Chesedim. Dwell in the land, and serve the sovereign of Babel, and let it be well with you." And in the 17th new moon it came to be that Ishmael, son of Nathaniel, son of Elamash, of the seed of the rain, came with 10 men and struck Gilead, that he died, and the Udim and the Chesedim who were with him at Mizpah. And all the people rose up, small and great, and the commanders of the armies, and went to Mizpah, for they were afraid of the Chesedim. And it came to be in the 37th year of the exile of Joachim, sovereign of Judah, in the 12th new moon, on the 27th of the new moon, that Evil-Merodach, sovereign of Babel, in the year that he began to reign, released Joachim, sovereign of Judah, from prison, and swore kindly to him, and set his throne above the throne of the sovereigns who were with him in Babel. and changed his prison garments, and he ate bread continually before the sovereign all the days of his life. And as his allowance, the continual allowance, was given to him from the sovereign, a quote, each day, all the days of his life. And the Kings, moving on to Psalms 139 on page 724. O Yahweh, you have searched me, and you know me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought from afar. You sift my path and my lying down. You know well all my ways, for there is not a word on my tongue. But you see, O Yahweh, you know it all. You have been close to me. You have been close to me in behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Knowledge, too wondrous for me. It is high. I am unable to achieve it. Where would I go? Where would I go from your spirit? Or where would I flee from your face? If I go up into the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, see, you are there. I take the wings of the morning. I dwell in the utmost parts of the sea. There, too, your right hand would lead me. If I say darkness shall cover me, the night would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark for you. For you possessed, If I say darkness shall cover me, the night would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark for you, but night shines as the day. So is darkness, so is light. For you possess my kidneys. You have covered me in my mother's womb. Sorry, I'm struggling here. Verse 13. For you possess my kidneys. You have covered me in my mother's womb. I give thanks to you, for I am awesomely and wondrously made. Wondrous are your works, and my being knows it well. My bones were not hidden from you when I was shaped in a concealed place, knit together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body, and in your book all of them were written, the days they were formed, while none was among them. Oh, how precious are your thoughts, O El, to me, O El. How great has been the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more than the sand. Then I wake up, I am still with you. Oh, that you would kill the wrong, O Ella. Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed. They speak against you wickedly. Bring your enemies to naught. O Yahweh, do not hate them who hate you. Do I not loathe those who rise up against you? With a complete hatred I hate them. They have become my enemies. Search me, O El, and know my heart. Try me, and know my thoughts. And see if the idolatrous way is in me. And lead me in everlasting. Oh, the Proverbs 20. Proverbs 20 on page 747. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink a brawler. Whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The dread of the sovereign is like the roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from strife is esteem, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn, and harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel is the heart of a man is like deep water. Counsel on the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. The sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattering all evil with his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin, differing weights and differing measures? Both are an abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made them both. Do you love sleep? Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is a guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for foreigners. Bread gained through deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth is filled with gravel. By counsel plans are established, and by guidance wage a battle. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with him. He who speaks smoothly with his lips, whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not blessed at the end. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he saves you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are not good. The steps of the man are from Yahweh. I'm sorry, repeat this. Lost track there. Verse 23. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man, verse 24, the steps of a man are from Yahweh. What does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly, it is set apart. The only later to reconsider his vows. A wise sovereign widows out the wrong and turns the wheel over them. The spirit of the lamp of Yahweh. The spirit of a man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all his inmost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil, and stokes the inner parts of the heart. Romans chapter 9 on page 1098. I speak the truth in Messiah. I do not lie. My conscience also bearing me witness in the set-apart spirit, that I have great sadness and continual grief in my heart. For I myself have wished to be banished from Messiah, for the sake of my brothers, my relatives, according to the flesh, who are the children of Israel, to whom is the adoption and the esteem and the covenants and the living of the Torah and the worship and the promises, whose are the fathers, and from whom is the Messiah according to all flesh, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever. Amen. However, it is not as though the word of Elohim has failed, for they are not all Israel who are of Israel. Neither are all the children, because they are the seed of Abraham. But in Isaac your seed shall be called. Genesis 21:12. What is those who are the children of the flesh? These are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are reckoned as the seed. For this is the word of a promise, at which time I shall come, and Sarah shall have a son. Genesis 18, verse 10. And not only so, but Rebekah having conceived by one, our father Isaac. Yet before they were born, or had done any good or evil, in order that the purpose of Elohim according to choice might stand, not of works, but of him who calls. It was said to her, the greater shall serve the lesser. And as it has been written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. Malachi 1, verse 2 and 3. What then shall we say? Is there unrighteousness with Elohim? Let it not be. For he says to Moshe, I shall favor whomever I favor, and I shall have compassion on whomever I have compassion. So then, it is not of him who is wishing, nor of him who is running, but of Elohim who shows favor. Verse 15. And he says to Moshe, I shall favor whomever I favor, and I shall have compassion on whomever I have compassion. So then it is not of him who is wishing, nor of him who is running, but of Elohim who shows favor. Verse 17. For the scripture says to Pharaoh, for this same purpose I have raised you up, to show my power in you, and that my name be declared in all the earth. So then he favors whom he wishes, and he hardens who he wishes. Then you shall say to me, why does he still find fault? Who has resisted his counsel? But who are you, O man, to talk back to Elohim? Shall that which is formed say to him, who formed it? Why have you made it like this? Does the potter have authority over the clay from the same lump to make one vessel of value and another not for value? And if Elohim desiringly does not the potter have authority over the clay from the same lump to make one vessel of value and another for naught? And if Elohim, desiring so wrath, and to make his power known, with much patience tolerate the vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his esteem of vessels of compassion, which he has prepared beforehand for esteem. Even among even whom he had called. 24. Even whom he called, not only us of the Jews, but also of the nations. As he said in Hosea 2, I shall call them my people, who were not my people, and her beloved, who was not beloved. Hosea 2, verse 23. Interesting read that is, too. And if it may be in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, there they shall be called sons of the living Elohim. Hosea 1, verse 10. And Joshua cries out on behalf of Israel through the number of children of Israel, be as sand of the sea, the remnant shall be saved. For he is bringing a matter to an end, and is cutting it short in righteousness, because Yahweh shall cut short of a matter on the earth. Joshua 10:23. And as Joshua said before Yahweh of hosts, who had not left us a seed, we would have become like Sodom, and we would have been made like Gomorrah. What shall we say then? That nations not following after righteousness have obtained righteousness, even the righteousness of belief, but Israel, following after the Torah of righteousness, has not arrived at the Torah of righteousness? Why? Because it was not of belief, but by works of Torah. For they, 31. But Israel, following after the Torah of righteousness, has not arrived at the Torah of righteousness. Why? Because it was not of belief as by works of Torah. For they stumbled at the stone of stumbling. And as it was been written, see, I lay in Zion a stone of stumbling and a rock, capital R for that rock, that makes for falling, and everyone who is believing on him shall be put to, and who believing on him shall not be put to shame. Thank you for listening. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.